Okay, today I want to talk about how do you recognize that you are in a spiritual awakening. You are shifting, you are feeling it, but what are the symptoms? And everybody's spiritual awakening is different, and this is what I want to talk about tonight. So when we are going through a spiritual awakening, there is no right or wrong way. Everybody's awakening is different. And as you know, there's a lot of misinformation out there on that it's about when you realize what's going on the planet and it's all about intel. That's not a spiritual awakening. A spiritual awakening is your own personal journey of why you are here. So for somebody who is watching this, your spiritual awakening might be that you've realized that you're a healer. Or for somebody else out there who is watching this, they may just feel that they are here just to hold the light and they just want to spend time with their family. Everybody is here to play a big part on this planet, be whatever it is that you are here for. And as you know, we are multidimensional beings in a meat suit. So for some of you, you may be healers, or some of you may be foretellers, or you are here to change the frequency changers. Some of you are here as keyboard warriors, yeah, to uncover everything dark, what has been going on this planet. So everybody has their own niche, should I say. Everybody has their own piece of the pie. If we all thought the same, it would be a very boring old world, wouldn't it? So there is this sense that everybody goes through this differently. Some people have this quickly, some people have this gradually, some people are just there, they seek it out and they make it happen. For me, for my personal spiritual awakening, it was a sense that I just woke up one morning and realized that there was a bigger picture than this 3D, what's going on the planet. And I realized that, I started to connect with off-world beings. I started to realize that, they were also here to telecommunicate with me. So being a medium, it stands to reason if you're pushing this, that at some point that you could also telecommunicate with beings, not just in space, but also other parts of the world as well. So as we start to spiritually ascend, I'm finding a lot of the younger generation actually that they are starting to have telepathic connections with their soulmates. And I'm going to talk about that in the next video as well. So when we start to spiritually ascend and awaken, our senses become a lot more heightened. Remember as well, you can't stay in the fifth dimension. I know there's a lot of misinformation out there about the fifth dimension. And if you don't go into the fifth dimension, you're going to be left behind and you're not going to go into the new earth, all of this. It's not true. Everybody is here to do their own thing. Okay? So you may just feel this sense of knowing. And you just know what it is that you are here for. Or you realize that you are more than just a body. Does that make sense? For me, it was a case of that I wanted to talk about it more and go out there and teach more about this. Yeah. Which I do in private sittings. If you ever want a private sitting, you can come to us, and I do channeling sessions as well. There's a lot of controversy out there about, some people say that you can't channel, and that's a load of rubbish. We are spirit beings and we are in a meat suit. We have to be in this meat suit to stay here, to live on this planet. This is why we have to look after this body. But also you can't, if you start to realize that you are a spirit being, you can then connect with other people, not just on this planet, elsewhere out there in the galaxy. And it's called telecommunication. So it's it's a massive, massive subject. For me as well, it's connecting with Mother Earth and realizing like life is everywhere, within the trees, the animals. And I actually do believe that the animals are ascending as well. Sometimes you want to change your diet and you realize what's going on with the food industry. That was a big thing for me. And also clean up your act, And through this spiritual ascension, you also have a big clear out. And I want you to comment on the link below with this one. You have a big clear out of who is part of your soul family. Because you've got your soulmate and you've got your twin soul, and then you've got your 7 friends that you meet in heaven. And it doesn't always have to be people who are like you. It could be the old man down the street or the dog. It's a case of resonating with who you need to be with. But that doesn't mean that you're not going to mix with other people if they're on a lower vibration or they're not thinking like you. There's a sense that you have this knowing, and that you could walk through a storm and not feel touched. You just know what you need to do. But it can be a very lonely experience, especially when people are struggling, when you are experiencing these outer body experiences or being in the 5th dimension. So the 5th dimension is when you actually start to operate out of this frequency zone in the 3D. So you find a lot of people who meditate can go into the 5th dimension and beyond. But remember, you can't stay in the 5th dimension, because if you stayed in the 5th dimension, you would just not be able to operate at all. And we've come here, whatever reason we've come here to this planet, is to do our thing. So you have to be grounded. And people don't like it when I say that, because to be grounded, it can make you more spiritually aware. People don't like that. So the problem we've got here is with the younger generation as well. A lot of them want to go off there and they want to experience psychedelics and drugs and stuff like that to lift them into that 5th dimension. But the problem is, if you take something like ayahuasca or something like that, it can actually shove you quickly into the 5th dimension, and then you struggle to come back into 3D. So sometimes it can be dangerous. So you've got to know what you're doing. And I know this with being a shaman, being experienced in that. And I've witnessed this on people where there's been people who haven't been able to operate or function on a daily business, like being able to get on with their daily life, because they've experienced a situation like that with psychedelic drugs, and it's left them feeling alienated on the planet. So everybody's experience is different. To get through it, how do you get through it? Be around nature, enjoy your life, and not to feel guilty. And write your lists down, find you. The first thing you need to do is to find you. When you find your passion, and a lot of people struggle with that, so you write your lists of things that you like on this planet. It might not be much. It might be animals, or it could be nail art, or just write your things down, what you like to do. And my advice is, do these things as hobbies. And when you're doing these things, magic starts to happen. And then you start to attracting the right people into your life in the right situations. That's what actually happens. So yeah, the great spiritual awakening is not for everybody. You see, some people may come to this planet and they don't want to be in 5D, and that's absolutely fine. They just potter along. And then maybe here is anchors for Earth. There's not just lighthouses, there's anchors. So the lighthouses are the ones who are here normally to make the difference, to teach, to tell, who've come here to change the world. And they talk about this in all the, like the holy books and that, like the 144,000 and all of that. So they're the ones who've come here to do their bit. But some people have come here as silent anchors. Are you a silent anchor? We all play our part. Yeah? So remember, this is not a dress rehearsal. We are here to change this planet. And this is where we've gone wrong, by leaving it all up to the politicians and the leaders. And it's about us. It's about us and, you know, protecting that freedom of speech and doing what we need to do. But everybody's journey is different. So what might be good for you might not be good for somebody else, but it doesn't mean that you can't have a friendship with them or a relationship with them. And when you are with your soulmate, which I'm going to talk about in another video, there's just this knowing of acceptance that they accept what you're here to do and you accept sometimes that you agree to differ. You don't always have to do the same thing. I hope that's helped there. But the great spiritual awakening is upon us all now. And what's your call? Are you a healer? Are you an artist? Are you a frequency changer? Are you here as a prophet? You know, to teach, to tell, to change the world, to create. We are all here. We are all part of God's creation. And this is the great spiritual awakening. I hope that's helped, and I'll see you all soon. Bye now.